Welcome to another episode with Coach Amaka. And this is talking about grieving. What are you grieving? Grieving what might have, what could have, what should have, what would have that did not happen. Could have, should have, would have never happened, right? So let's talk grieving. How do you grieve? A lot of times we shy away from breaking down, tearing up, sobbing, crying, wailing, feeling sad, feelings of nostalgia. And because we don't want to seem broken or saddened or disappointed or heartbroken, we tend to push away the tears and just forge ahead and push through. Life was never designed for us to numb our pain, for us to coast that all is well and put up a face. Life was never designed for us to show so much bravery that it takes away from our authenticity, our human nature, and our true experiences. We have to allow ourselves the opportunity to breathe, to grieve, to feel, to express in sorrow and in joy, and to heal thereby. You cannot fully heal when you're coasting. When you're coasting, you're pushing away those emotions that will break you down, that gets you to truly address your pain, your hurt, your misery, your heartbreak, your disappointment, and that would ultimately aid your healing. So when you're coasting or numbing or shoving away or dismissing, you're actually frustrating your own wellness, wholeness, well-being, and healing, and total healing and transformation. Life was never for you to eat, play, and die. You're actually meant to live a wholesome, fully rounded, well-rounded life. That's the life that the universe has given unto you. You remember when people would say things like, oh, the grave is the richest place, because that's where all the people that could have written books, all the people that could have been engineers and created and invented things, people who would have been the best cooks, the best clergy people, the best preachers, the best anything of any version. That's where they all are, because a lot of people never fully realized their potential, fulfilled their goals, their destiny before they died, because they were so fixated and focused on one thing alone. And that thing might just be a negative occurrence, a negative predicament that befell them. They're so much focused on it to the point where they never fully evolved, transformed, transmutate, impacted their world. They never served their world with their grace until they died. So again, I ask, so what if you're grieving? If you're grieving the loss of a marriage, the loss of the man or the woman, your partner, you can grieve the loss of a person. You can grieve the loss of a partner, a parent, a child, a friend, an associate, a neighbor, anybody, even your favorite celebrities. We tend to grieve. Life is about rejoicing and grieving. Life is about pain and joy. Life is about hurt and success. Life is about, failure and success, pain and grief and joy and celebration. Life is all about the beauty and the beast. That's what life is about. We all experience that in cycles. Some days we are celebrating, other times we are grieving. That's why the Bible says, grieve with they that grieve, rejoice with they that rejoice. It's not all the time we are giving testimonies and rejoicing and jubilating. There are times when it's a learning curve, it's a painful route or painful experience. It's an experience that propels you to grow or to forge ahead, in spite of it all. And also learning to pick yourself up. So yes, give yourself the opportunity to grieve and bear it all out and let it all down. I grieved many times. I cried. What was I grieving? Losing that idea of the family that I've created, the idea of the person that the idea of my expectation of the person, right? So there's always that expectation, essentially when you're hopeful that they will do better. You already know that they are not doing so well. You're hoping that they will do better as you allow them the time and the grace to, naturally evolve, right? Unfortunately, they are evolving and you guys are just going apart. And that was not the original plan, right? So, and another thing I grieved was how much I let myself go, how much I have lost myself, I lost my track, I lost my way, because I've always believed in my goals, my aspiration, my dream. And I always had like this huge optimism towards my goal, my aspiration, and my dream. And I didn't realize how much I had steered away from all of that, from my purpose, my calling, my self-trust, confidence, self-belief. I had steered so far off. I know, like I've become totally lost. I've become confused, confounded, sabotaging, self-sabotaging. There was no clarity anymore. I became like helpless, and it seemed like I don't know who I am anymore. I let myself go, and more like I dissipated into my pain and misery and the times that I was down. It's like I didn't even know myself anymore. I felt lost internally and externally. Like I felt physically lost and I felt emotionally lost. I felt completely lost and gone. Not just stagnated, not just trapped. I was lost, literally. So it was tough for me to realize how much I had lost myself, because I was trying to hold everything together. I was trying to hold everyone together. I was trying to hold the whole idea together. I'm the one who has the family values. I'm the one who really, really wanted this family to be, a family that can be together and can be a driving force, can be a motivating factor, can be a family where love thrives, a family where, everyone is doing well. If I had to compromise, if I had to sacrifice, if I had to keep my own life on hold, just so that everyone come on board and we can be fully aligned and fully evolved and fully grounded and rounded, I was holding everything together. Sadly, I was the only one holding anything together. Nobody else was doing it with me. The kids were still very young. I was so hurt by that disappointment. I felt like I let myself down. I let myself go. I just abandoned my own dream, my own calling, my own purpose, my own aspiration, my own goals. I felt like I abandoned myself. I let go of too much. And that was not right. So I grieved. I grieved because had I known that I was not building with somebody, that I was building alone, I was hoping alone, I was believing alone, I was just alone in the whole journey, in the whole process. Ah, I would have built, I would have prepped myself, I would have saved up something, I would have, intentionally forged ahead and done things that I had been desiring to do without even going through, someone's opinion and approval. I wouldn't even try to have the person get the person's consent. I wouldn't go through all the condescending moments of even feeling vulnerable while I'm trying to get a consent or get some approval or some support, right? Letting my head down, letting my ego down, every way that I let myself down, everything that I sacrificed or compromised, and anyhow that I tolerated and condoned and forgave and, allowed a level of humiliation. I felt so terrible within myself. That's why I grieved. I grieved. I grieved. I wailed. I sobbed. I cried. I poured it all out. I took every advantage to pour it out because I believed in my healing and I couldn't keep any iota of pain and anger and misery and anguish and bitterness. I couldn't keep any iota of it. I had to move really forward. I had to overcome every level and inch of bitterness. I still talk about things. I still bring up um, thoughts or events and things that happened, right or wrong. But I no longer feel pain. I no longer feel bitterness. I no longer feel regret. I know, like, yes, there's that little regret that always will be there, but I no longer feel like it doesn't affect me emotionally, mentally, psychologically, physically, materially. It never affects me anymore. And that's where I want you to get. That's where I want you to get to. That's the destination, the actual destination that any one of you, each one of us must, arrive at. We must arrive at that destination where we feel okay to talk about things that happened, that we encountered, without feeling bitterness. Because we have taken time to grieve it, we've taken time to analyze it, we've taken time to understand it, we've taken time to assess everything, we've taken responsibility and accountability where we should, how we had let ourselves down, how we had tolerated so much, forgave so much, allowed so much, how we had kept it in and locked away. Admit that you also contributed by your silence. Your silence enabled all kinds of bull crap. Your tolerating self, your tolerance enabled a lot of things. When you see one passive parent, the other one actually enabled it because you became too active and overextending to the point where the other party felt emasculated and just like allowed you to take charge and take control. Right? So there are times when we try to pick up the slack, we overextended, compromised, tolerated, and all manner of things, and this goes both ways. It's not a gender thing. You know what I'm talking? It's not a gender thing. This is a relationship thing. So if you're the one who is overextending and you're dealing with someone who don't care, who is very passive, who is very nonchalant, who is lazy, who is a low effort person and low vibrational person and abusive person, talking about abuse, emotional abusive, and what's it called? Deflective and yeah, all of them. I keep forgetting my words out of going through a trauma. That said, I want us to get to where we can say, I put in the work, I did it for me, and I'm happy where I'm at today. Is this going to be your story? Is this going to be your outcome? You choose, you call the shots. It's all up to you. So we're going to be having a seminar very soon. I'll put out more information. Please look out for more information. Kindly share this video if you like what I'm talking about, if I'm speaking to your heart and your soul, or to someone that you can relate to. Please keep coming back for more. Subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to comment, like, and share. Share. Make it go viral. Okay? Join the community. We are building strong community.